Who are these new people in our village? Well, if you didn't see the last episode, we got more armor trims, started introducing our district concepts, and we are ready today. Today's the day that we're going to go out. So welcome back to another episode of AchromatiCraft. Today we're going to be starting to establish where our districts are going. I started mapping out some of the villages, but let's jump into some of maybe the criteria that we're going to use for these districts, what each of them needs to have, and I'll show you a little bit of the mapping that I've already started. All right, so I put together a quick book here, a little bit of what we're going to do. So each of our districts needs to start from a village. We're not just going to go find some of the best terrain. It has to start with a village. So the concept there is that we took over a village, and then that's when the gray infestation came in. It needs to be close to spawn, so we're not going to go clear out in the world to find the very best villages. Some of them are going to take a lot of work, but that's okay. And then inside of each district, we need to know where that infestation, this grayscale infestation, came from. We'll establish a portal. They'll each have their own trading hall. We need at least 2 villagers so that we can start. And maybe we'll have to bring some in. I don't know if all the villages have 2 villagers, and you'll see why here in a minute. And then we're going to start an original map as soon as we get there. So that way we know what it looks like before we even start making it over. So before we do that, let's go look at the map that I've already created. And guys, this took a lot of these firework rockets. We traveled all over. And maybe y'all haven't seen this portion because I'm going to build a better map place eventually. But in this building, if we come downstairs, I started mapping out the different versions of what this city looks like, because I realized we never established an original one, but at least this has the original village and then has the village after we made it over. So that's a good thing. But this is what I've been doing, is going out and mapping out where all these different structures are around us. So the red one here is our spawn. Here's that medieval district we established. And then we started mapping out all the different villages, possible places. There's our end portal. If you want a little context, here's our mining desert. And clear up here is our coral farm. So hopefully this will be about all that we need to for this area. And you'll even notice I said, oh, this was a possible Asian area because it looks really cool. But guys, there's no village, so we're not going to go there. So I got to take that one off the map. But we've got a lot of villages, as you can see, that we can work with. And I started identifying where some of those are. So the next thing I need to do is go fly out to each of them, get the coordinates, and then we're going to actually go in the nether and start making walkways here, because I'm using up so many rockets. So we're also going to establish our nether portal, our nether portals and tunnels today. So let's start by going and grabbing all those coordinates, and then we're going to go in the nether and start digging there. Now we're going to jump over to these different villages and get the coordinates. So I'm just going to fly right out on there. I'll meet you at each village, talk about what district that's going to be, and we'll get the coordinates, and then we'll get into the nether. All right, in this first village that we're at, we're going to call the futuristic district. So let me get up here in the sky just a little bit. One thing you'll notice is that there are a lot of hills on this, in this area. And I couldn't figure out what village would go in here, but I figured if this was futuristic, maybe they decided to take over the top of these steep cliffs because no one else could get there. So that's what this is going to be. It's going to be the futuristic district. And so on my map here, I'm actually going to come down. And if you haven't seen, this is how you get the little banners on there, is by putting a named banner and then clicking on it, and it will put it on there. So I just took it off, put it back on, take it off. I'm going to rename this banner to the futuristic district and update the map. All right, and we got that named real quick, so we'll update the map. And futuristic, now it's not just a village anymore. This is our place. And the next village is going to be a little harder for me to describe because it's the underground district. So what's cool about this is I found this, I don't know what they call them, dead city, abandoned city, takeover zombified city. I don't remember what they're called, but when I found this, I was really curious what was underneath it, because I think the storyline here is perfect for underground. Is you think about a zombified, and I was able to at least capture one of them, and so I'll have to convert him. But imagine these guys have taken over the village and the people were forced to go underground. And so I explored a lot around here, seeing if there was like a cave that went down. And I gotta show you this, guys. And I even had to bring a night vision potion because it's kind of hard. I think I remember where I go down. Is it in here? Yeah, so I found this. This was kind of funny. There's a garden crop area down here. Not sure why it spawned underground, but so I came in here and then noticed another way down. So I'm going to drink this night vision because what I'm going to show you is a big cave and it's kind of hard. Let me just check that over there. It's kind of hard to see this if you don't have night vision. So the way down here is pretty treacherous. And luckily I have rockets, so it's easier to get back up. But this is how you essentially get down, is just floating down. And look at how big this place is, guys. I'm going to be up here on this top. Oh, and I didn't even think about there's going to be lots of mobs. But there's lots of... Oh, there's even a spawner. I guess that's the beauty of using a night vision. But there's a lot of room down here. I haven't explored it all. But we'll fly around for a minute. You can see it goes back up in here. And it's huge. There's all of that. Don't want to get too lost in here. But there's going to be so much space for us to do an underground city here. Alright, and we got that banner renamed, as you can see on the map, and redone. Let's go to the next village. And the next village wasn't that far away. This one's kind of cool because it's built like into this hill, which I normally hate, but I think this could be perfect for an Asian district. I really love the idea that like the city's out here with all of the stuff. You can see we have plenty of land to build kind of the rural part. And maybe there's some kind of temple up on the top where you have to climb up to get to it. We could put some really cool trees. We can make over this village quite a bit. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of space that we have here. And we quickly made it to the next one. As you can see, there is a lot of room here. And what I thought would be great for this one is the modern district. Mainly because I want to have a lot of very flat space. Like they very much picked a spot where they wanted modern landscaping, nice flat clean lines, and this is going to be the area. This is going to be very easy for us to kind of keep those straight lines, make it look nice and groomed. So this is going to be the modern district. Let me get the coordinates, mark it on the map, and we'll go to the next one. And this one we've talked about before. We've flown in and out of here before, ran through this area when we were finding the nether portal. But this village is going to be a little of a stretch. Most of it is over here where there's not snow, but this is where the winter village is going to be. I've come through here a number of times. I've even marked this out previously. I think having the portal here would be so cool. I'm imagining some kind of like winter castle built into this area. Then we can build kind of around this river and even maybe a little into the ice spikes biome over there. So this is going to be a perfect place for our winter village. So let me mark that out. All right, and the capital district isn't anything special right now, but I'm imagining this nice big capital here with the portal walking or looking straight out on it. And then we have plenty of land that we can build around here and plenty of trees that we can take down. So this will be a perfect place for the capital, marked on the map. Let's go to the next one. This village is going to take a little bit more imagination, but as you can see, there's quite a bit of water that runs around through here. We got a giant hole. That's where the infestation's coming up. There's also a ravine. I don't know how a house spawned right next to a lava lake. This place is a disaster, but it's perfect for a swamp. So this is going to be our swamp district. And this is going to take a lot of work, a lot of overhaul, but this is going to be low-lying buildings. So there's not going to be anything too big. They're mostly going to be small like you'd see. And we get to do giant mushrooms. This is going to be the area where we get to have a little extra fun because the buildings will be pretty humble. So we want the landscape to really stand out. So that's the Swamp District. And the last but certainly not least village is our desert one. We've got it marked. And this one we've actually seen before. This is when we were looking for the desert temple for the trims. There's this village, and I thought this is perfect. And they could actually be like in the lore history, be the exporters of terracotta. Now we don't use a lot of terracotta, but maybe before the infestation started taking over, they were the main exporters of sand and terracotta. So we'll probably play into that with this village, but there's plenty to explore or to build through. And so we'll get that build out, and this will be the desert village. Now we need to go back to the Nether and start figuring out how we're going to get all these portals set up. So I'm going to head back to the medieval village where we go into the Nether, and we'll start mapping out some of these places. We probably won't do them all, but let's at least get a start on it. Okay, now that we're flying back, I have to show you this outpost. I wish I would have captured this on camera earlier so I didn't fully loot it. But when we came in here and marked this place, better put a little light in here, I found, yes, the Sentry armor trim. 2 of them. This is one we didn't have before, and there we go. So that was awesome. Glad we found that. Ooh, bottle of enchanting. Might as well use that now. There's our little reward, a horn to celebrate. But that's awesome. I'm so glad we got these smithing templates. I didn't know if we were going to get them. Luckily, this one is close, but had never been generated. So we got those, and now it's time to get home and see if we can get some of the tunnels dug, and let's maybe get 1 or 2 of the portals up this episode. So let's go. All right, and we did all that mapping. They got us from this, where there's a whole bunch of villages, to this one, where we start seeing where the different districts are going to be. Now, as you can see, there's still plenty of villages, and so we can just keep this map going. We can keep building out more and more of these villages, but it starts to give you kind of a scale, like how far out our coral farm is, our mining desert, what's by those, and then how far away some of these villages are. But this is pretty cool, guys. We have it to a spot where now we can start building out some of these portals and start figuring out which districts we want to work in. Now, we're not going to always live in one district. We might do a project here in the medieval district, go out to the swamp, back over to the modern. This is going to give us a lot of opportunity just to have fun and build in certain areas whenever we get the motivation or the ideas for it. So let's actually jump in the Nether real quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time building out, watching you guys watch me build roads in the Nether, because I want to get in this episode at least 2 of our district portals up. And before we head to the Nether, I just wanted to make sure that we got all our elytra and most of our tools fixed up. So we're just getting some last XP here. Alright, now we're really going to go. I've been putting it off. You can probably tell I'm procrastinating. I hate digging in the Nether, but it's time. We're ready, so let's go. Alright, and after a lot of exploring, we went out and we got at least some base coordinates. So the nice thing is most of these in the Nether aren't going to be farther than 200 blocks away from 0, 0. So we're going to be able to do this pretty efficiently and pretty easy. And re-looking at that map, it looks like we might be able to just do this in a giant square. So kind of going one direction and the other. And that guy's going to come for me, isn't he? Alright, but we're going to get that build out here real quick, and then we'll see how big of a space this actually is. Alright, and the good news is a long time ago we built this tunnel to come clear out here just to explore like what different things are there. So in this direction, we're already 200 blocks this way from our portal, which puts us up, I believe, in the capital region of where that village is going to be. So now we need to go the other direction We're gonna go 200 blocks that way and see if how much trouble we get in that way. And by the way, I brought this gray box. It's full of stone so that we can build any bridges we need to. We're gonna try and stay at this level until we figure out the tunnel, and then eventually we'll make a better tunnel that goes around to all these different places, so we're a lot safer, because as you saw, those hoglins are all over the place. So now what I've calculated is that our capital district is somewhere out in this area. So not too far. I'm going to get the coordinates. We'll at least build a temporary portal where it's going to go. I might shift as we figure out the city layout. But let's see if we can get that one laid out and know how far off this path it's going to be. Alright, and from this main line that we made, it's actually not too far back here. But I don't have my obsidian, so we'll get this put in. We're just going to start with a little 3x3. But we'll get that placed in, but I'm going to go start marking out some of the other ones. I'm excited to start seeing where these capitals go. And then obviously in the future, we've got a lot to do. Like, this is an ugly floor. Obviously I don't want to keep having those guys in my way, but this can be pretty easy, I think, from here. So let's map out a few of these and see where we're at. All right, and we got another one done. This is the opposite direction of kind of where I showed you at the very beginning of this dig. It's just off of here, and this is going to actually be our snow district. So a little hint into that one. We'll come get that one all dug out here, or placed in here in a second. All right, that was enough time in the nether. You guys know what that's like. We're not going to worry about it, but we are going to hurry and see if we can get in the capital portal before we end this episode. So let's get some of this obsidian. I'll probably do a little extra off camera so that we can do other portals quickly in the future. So let me dig this out. I'll meet you back in the nether so we can get the portal going. All right, and it's time to light the capital portal. That's up and going. Now we're not going to walk through just yet. Uh-oh, getting attacked. We're not going to walk through just yet. We're going to actually build it on the other side and then line it up, and then we'll come through and hopefully it connects. So let's jump over there. All right, and we are out of the capital district. The reason I chose this one first is it's the closest to the medieval district. So it's just over that way, I don't know, a couple hundred blocks. But this is where we're going to build this original one. I've already started putting down a lot of our materials. But the first thing we got to take care of is we're going to put down something to block this, and we probably should light it up down there. And then what I'm going to do is start taking some of this stone that we've got. We're going to build a big platform. So I'll have to kind of figure out where it's going to be. And I may have stuck all that in the wrong spot. But this is going to be fairly easy base. It's just going to be something that looks a little grand. And then we're going to use actually a lot of quartz to build up this nether portal. So let me fill in this hole. Let me build the base, and I might even just get the whole nether portal in. But let's see how much we can get done here. Okay, and before I build out that portal, I wanted to show you a little of what I did. So we had this big hole, so I filled that in 2 layers deep of dirt. So that way we have plenty of room for when we come back and grayify this ground, that it all won't fall through. So we've done that. We'll probably have to do a little back there. But what I wanted to show you, because I built this up here, is if we're going to have the capital over there, I want almost like this straight shot. So I tried to line this up basically with right where we would make a bridge or a view away of the capital over there. So now you can see I've started laying out that foundation. I'll keep building that. It's going to be fairly substantial. And then I'm just going to go ahead and build the portal right on there so we can wrap up this episode. Let me build that real quick and I'll show you what it looks like. And a few hours later, we have our first portal. Now let's take a flight. This one's a little hard to see because I built it on a cliff. So remember, the capital is going to be here, and then you'll be able to see this. What do you think? Is it grand enough? Oh, left some scaffolding. But is this grand enough to be the capital portal? I hope so. Really tried to go with something that looked like it had been here a long time, but yet was pretty grand and really felt like you were coming to the capital, not just a smaller district, but this was the place. So I'm going to break down this. we're gonna test real quick. I haven't even been in here. I just barely lit this. So let's hope it takes us to the right place in the nether. If it doesn't, we might be in trouble. Oh, and it does, and that guy's still mad at me. Alright, we took care of that guy. There was a few of him and his friends. But now we can go back in. And that gives us our new first portal. I guess we had one over in the medieval district, but of our new districts, here is the first one. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I think this is going to set the stage really well for what this district's going to become. It's going to be very grand, going to be very somewhat classical, but I also want to add a little bit of modern to it. So this is our first step. I thought we were going to get more portals in, but guys, that was a lot of work. So that is going to do it for this episode. But watch in the next episode, because we're going to keep building on this progress. We're going to keep putting some more portals in, and we're going to make this map ready to expand to whatever district we want to work in. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.